Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sonic 3 and Knuckles glitch compilation. Man, about time! I've already covered both base games ad nauseum in their respective videos, so in the interest of not repeating myself too much, I'm gonna try to cover glitches exclusive to the locked on game, such as Knuckles in Sonic 3, Tails in Sonic & Knuckles, Hyperforms, and Super Tails, and glitches that actually got fixed. Most glitches in Sonic 3 or Sonic & Knuckles work here too, since, you know, same game code and whatnot. You probably know the video structure by now, but real quick for those in the back, we'll start off with glitches that can be done anywhere, then go in zone order, then debug last. I'll also mention Sonic soft locks, which is just a soft lock, but not really, because after 10 minutes, you die. Just like in real life. Lastly, I want to thank this video's sponsor, Tails is probably the most busted character in this game. Sure, he has a slightly smaller hitbox and can literally fly almost anywhere. But AI Tails, yeah, the one that follows Sonic, wasn't tested very well. Something introduced in Sonic 3 is Tails assisting, letting Tails fly Sonic around when he feels lazy. Another staple Sonic feature is looking up or down to scroll the screen. When fused together, you get the ability to phase through objects. Whenever a sprite object is off screen, no matter how far, the game thinks it no longer exists, allowing us to play Sonic inside of it when it does reload, pushing him out, usually into a wall. When technically inside of a wall, pressing left sends you right, and pressing right sends you left. Standard video game logic. This will come up later in each zone, so keep it in mind. Something else Tails assisting can do is letting Sonic move around during the score tally. Literally have Tails airlift Sonic before the tally starts, and let him land naturally. Now you can let out all your ADHD spin dashes while the tally ticks down. Once it's time for the tally to start, the game takes away Tails' control. As long as Sonic's holding on when this happens, you'll retain Sonic's control. Despite all that, if you make Tails fly right when the tally appears, the CPU makes him fly indefinitely. Even when he lands, he'll do it again, and 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 again. Ducking to scroll the screen also has its niche uses. Marble Garden, Ice Cap, and Sandopolis all wrap vertically, meaning when you do reach the bottom of the screen, you actually get teleported back to the top. So scrolling the screen down and jumping freaks the camera out hard, resulting in a big seizure warning. Wow, Sega, how dare you! The game thinks Sonic wrapped vertically and races downwards to find him, meaning every object collision that was on screen got deloaded. Speaking of off-screen objects, Tails goes through them. Yeah, take the Knuckles rocks in Angel Island for example. Tails clearly can't phase through them, but after looking up, huzzah! Just like magic. Hypersonic can do something similar with the double jump flash. Wow, that sure is a nice wall you got there. It would be a shame if I just ran through it. Man, what a shame indeed. Hyper's flash freezes the camera in place for several frames, while Sonic still moves. making specifically leftward walls more of a suggestion. Knuckles area, here we come! Right-facing walls are more of a feature, however. Sure, you can still technically flash through one, but you basically have to be tasked to pull it off. Remember how I said, so in the interest of not repeating myself, I'm gonna try to cover glitches exclusive to the Locked On game. Well, now I mean it. Tails assisting onto certain level objects has undesired effects. Like any object that puts Sonic into this animation. Say for example, fans. No, not you guys. You guys are probably a lot worse. If Tails lifts Sonic over a fan, he'll get frozen mid-air. Sonic only gets freed when Tails decides to land. This applies to Water World, Carnival Night, Sky Sanctuary, and even Knuckles' path in Mushroom Hill Act 2. Why is this even here? Knuckles, though, is pretty tame, all things considered, besides him acting like a lunatic. Sure, we got the monitor palette issues, but did you know? Knuckles can float? Some moving platforms can push Knuckles down while he's climbing. Wow, that sounded kinda kinky. And the game doesn't realize he's actually levitating. Pressing up makes him get onto nothing. Waterland and Sandland are the most notable, but it's also doable in Carnival Night and Flying Battery if you're creative enough. Whenever Knuckles fights Egg Robo, it's actually just Robotnik with an Egg Robo mask. Yeah, well actually, that's how it is in Mushroom Hill Act 2. Sonic Wiki claims that this glitch is doable in any Act 2. But the zones where the glitch is actually feasible don't seem to work. I tried Marble Garden, and I still got Egg Robo. Hypersonic is wild, man. First off, Hyper's double jump kills everything on screen. Secondly, his double jump collides with the bonus stage rings. That is very annoying in actual gameplay. Both Super and thus Hyper have their balancing sprites misaligned. Bro, look at his big ass forehead. I honestly figured this would have got fixed. Tell me, what do these three things have in common? I'll give you a second. They all share sprite slots. Meaning if, let's say, when Hyper runs out, the electric sparks from the electric shield get corrupted. The same applies when you do a double jump and run out of time. However, one variation I haven't seen documented is meme. Wee 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 wee! Yeah, if you hyper flash right when time's up, the sparkles get mega messed up. And also when you die, you can see dead Hypersonic just chillin'. In any Act 1, with enough rings to transform into either Super or Hyper, have Tails finish off the mini-boss. Transforming right when the boss is defeated will make Sonic run indefinitely. This is our first instance of a true soft lock. This also is easily doable in Sonic 2. Super Tails also shares palettes with Eggman. Just figured I'd mention that. A carryover from both games is making horrors beyond human comprehension. There is a brief period between entering a special stage ring and being taken to said special stage. But now, we can compare all three versions. Tails doesn't get garbled up in the ring for some reason. Alright, time for bug fixes.
That's a bug!
As mentioned in the Sonic 3 glitch compilation, the Insta-Shield glitch got fixed. Before, if you landed with an Insta-Shield, your next one got disabled. Now it works no matter what. Super and Hypersonic can also roll like normal, instead of slowing down to a crawl. The bubble shield doesn't make him bounce around anymore. And Sonic no longer gets his invincibility recalled. Very cool. That one was really annoying. Jump buffering on a level load also got patched, meaning no more flying around in the gumball machine. Aw man, I like that glitch. Oddly enough, this doesn't apply to competition mode. And finally, what happened to Bluckles? Why isn't he in the signpost anymore? Oh, this isn't good. That was the only thing holding back his true powers. Oh god. No. No! Something about the plane or something. Anyways, like last time, Tails can pick you up after Knuckles punches out your emeralds. However, unlike last time, I got some of the other variations, like the title card being a f***ing plane, or garbled up mess. Hey look! Smallpox! Once Flame Breath torches the island, the game internally considers us in Act 2. You can see this by going into a special stage or a bonus stage in actual Act 2, which resets the level boundaries. Then go back through the tunnel, and huzzah! It's Act 1 again! See? Here's where the torching happened. Well, they fixed a small related bug. When in actual Act 1, going into a bonus stage after the cutscene would respawn you with Act 2's music in Act 1. Sonic 3 and Knuckles fixed this glitch, except for when exiting the special stage right next to it. Yeah. Good job, Sega! If you have Hypersonic active, Tails assist above the checkpoint and double jump over the wall for a Sonic soft lock. The boss locks the camera and spawns way down there. But what if we reset the level boundaries and try again? Now we can go all the way to the bombing cutscene with the messed up background. Also, what is this random ass waterfall doing here? Have you ever wanted Sonic and Knuckles to switch paths? No? Well, you're in luck. Precautions were made to keep Sonic and Knuckles from mixing, such as death barriers and a simple rock pillar. But they weren't expecting me. Beefed up Knuckles can barely get on top of these spikes, letting him fight his own boss? Conveniently though, his bombs do reach high enough to hurt Knuckles. However, if we reload the level boundaries, Knuckles can get through Sonic's Act 2 completely fine, albeit without any water. When going into the bombing cutscene, randomly getting sent back is a Knuckles soft lock. Cowabummer! Either way, Knuckles doesn't have a bombing cutscene. Congratulations! Another Knuckles soft lock. Now, it's Sonic's turn. Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Sonic 3 alone are pretty different for Sonic's version. In the same area, get on top of these spikes. Look up, and Tails assist through the spikes. Be careful as moving to the right kills you. Flying up locks the screen in place for the boss. Well, poop. Sonic 3 alone, you would just go up and spin dash through the floor. But even if you manage to get through, S3 and K makes Knuckles' area a giant death pit. Well, you have to reload the level boundaries for it to work. Now Sonic can explore Knuckles' Act 2. Aw, come on, man. No matter what, the camera is set for Sonic's path, so dipping our toes below the screen counts as a pit death. Using Debug Mode to continue, we can get part of Act 2, but blue.
Why are you blue?
Be careful. If you die, then go into Debug and pop back into Knuckles' rock tunnel. Why did the game crash? That's just silly.
Why are you blue?
Anyway, blue fire.
Blue.
Sonic still can't fight Egg Robo as the giant death barrier returns. Even with Hypersonic's double jump and Debug Mode, you can't reach it. Sonic 3 alone had no problem letting you play Knuckles' Act 2, or be in the arena. Also with Knuckles or a double jump, you can see Flame Breath just poof. On to Act 2 for real now. With Super or Hyper still active, let's get another Sonic soft block. There's a tunnel with a yellow spring at the end. Spin dashing right here will get any character stuck. Super Tails and Hyper Knuckles can fall for the same trick too. You're stuck even if your transformation runs out. Okay, has anybody else noticed Tails moving forward while spin dashing? This definitely doesn't happen in Sonic 3 alone. Speaking of which, Tails kinda dodges the bombs now. He's not very good at it, but hey, at least he's trying. Did you know? Tails can hit the capsule when he dies? When he does, he'll just magically poof back in. Or run off the edge. Okay, it would be criminal not to mention this, but speedrunners found a way to legitimately crash the game into Sonic and Knuckles, skipping all of Sonic 3, minus Angel Island of course. Now I'm no expert, so take my explanation with the biggest grain of salt as possible. From what I understand, if you get hit by this flower guy with at least 32 rings, then hit a 1-frame spin dash, the rings create a lot of lag, causing some items not to spawn. Continue on through Act 2, making sure to get another 32 rings. The lag we caused earlier should result in a desync, meaning we have 2 Robotniks. Doing the desync again allows us to spawn more Robotniks. Beating 4 of them and hit all the capsules at the same time, but fall into the pit. I don't know about you, but I think something's wrong here. Sonic dies, and game overs to some spikes. What a bozo! Except, actually now, it's Sonic and Knuckles. Also actually, that was the task. There is no way I'm recreating all of that. Whew, man! I don't know how you're so good at video games, Tass. I think I gotta take a bath to wash off all that sweat. Just for the record, it's pronounced Hydrocity, like velocity. Sorry, bud. Hydrocity is subjectively correct. This switch is a glitch catalyst. First, if you hold a spin dash and have Tails hit the button, Sonic ends up getting waterboarded, or stuck underwater until you let go. With Super or Hyper, have Tails lower Sonic onto it and hold left. Aw, stupid pull. Jumping above the tunnel and getting sucked grants infinite double jumps. Going in the second underwater path with the grabby hand can lead to the sewers. Wait, what? Welcome to the sewers, where the background gets cut off and pillars made of foreground objects hold up the level. Going too far down loops the screen and kills you. Okay, can we take a second to look at just how precise this shit is? You have to double jump in a very specific spot in the slope. I literally had to make a task recording for this. Absolutely insane just to get to the sewers. Unfortunately, that is the only legit way into Act 1's sewers. Lord help me Jesus. The boss music glitch is sort of fixed. In Sonic 3 alone, if the drowning music plays and you stop drowning, it plays the wrong boss theme. Sonic 3 and Knuckles kinda fixes this because that's the song that plays anyway. Although this doesn't apply when fighting Eggman. Yikes. Alright, here's a few glitches I didn't mention last time. Having Tails fly up into the corner before the tally will cause him to fly into the wall. Afterwards, Tails won't rejoin you in Act 2. Ah! A ghost! Or was that Knuckles messing with us? Spin dashing up the ramp before the tally starts makes you stand on thin air. The same applies for Tails. If you get him high enough, he won't rejoin you. Again. Ever wonder what happens if you drown during the victory animation? Well, not much, until you beat Act 2. Robotnik, what did you do to those poor animals? On to Act 2. Tails actually collides with the crushing wall now, although he can still let Sonic back in by blocking the one-way wall. Knuckles, though, has some weird collisions in the wall chase. Simply spin dashing into this ramp results in an instant death. We'll come back to this stupid wall in a bit. For now, some parts of the background don't react to Hyper's flash. On God? Just like that? Blue ramps still have bad collision. Simply jump diagonally through an upward slope. It's literally as easy as it looks. Blue ramps don't have collision when coming at them from below, and jumping almost parallel to one just counts. And Knuckles can do it too. Look at him go! This easily leads to Act 2 sewers. Another method makes use of these rotating cylinders just before the Knuckles cutscene. With enough rings to do a transformation, jump up and transform just before landing and hold left. Sonic hopefully will go into the wall. Jump around and eventually he'll flush himself down. Welcome to the sewers! Transforming makes whatever character lose collision whilst transforming. And I re-mention all of this because if Knuckles does the same thing and clips into Sonic's boss area, it'll lead to Act 2's loopback. Welcome to the loopback, where all the level geometry repeats without any objects, enemies, or extra sprites. Without some of the level objects like water currents and switches, navigating can be somewhat interesting. Eventually, the level boundaries do cut off. Sonic can also get into the loop back by jumping onto these spikes before the Knuckles cutscene, and simply jumping over the wall, then double jumping over Knuckles' arena. Knuckles' boss doesn't trigger, so don't worry. Hey, these slides barely work! What a ripoff! What's cool is, using Tails, we can get back into the level and fight Eggman. And somehow it's not a true soft lock? Sonic 3 would have given me the middle finger, destroyed my hopes and dreams, and make me reset the game. I'm guessing that's why the capsule is positioned in such a weird way. If instead we jumped down, we can play Knuckles' area backwards. Getting that checkpoint isn't so much of a soft lock, it's more of a troll. If you don't have enough rings, it forces you into a game over or a reset. Using Hyper's Flash, we can zoosh right past the wall. Tails? What are you doing? Why are you with Knuckles? Tails, you traitor! Oh yeah, Eggman doesn't take Sonic's invincibility anymore. They also fixed his ability to straight up bypass the Eggman fight. No matter what, Hypersonic can't get enough speed to go past Eggman. Bummer! Alright, let's do a level wrap. Remember the crushing wall? Well, it and Sonic are about to do the nasty. First, get to the checkpoint and die, in order to reset the level boundaries. Okay, bear with me. Second, do a one-tap spin dash and hold left. Before he moves left and Sonic stands, switch to holding down. Then hold right and do a short insta-shield at the third ring. Sonic should get vored by the wall. Holding right zips us off screen. Look, there goes the whole level! You probably know what's going on here. Sonic moves so fast off screen, his X position would be a negative number. The game famously doesn't do negative numbers. So instead, it underflows to the highest positive number, which is here. Close to the boss, but not close enough. To reach Eggman, hold a spin dash when the screen only moves horizontally. Then release it around here. Did that all sound complicated? That's because it is. In Sonic 3 alone, you can literally jump and spam jump until Sonic zips through. Way simpler and works enough of the time. I genuinely do not know why Sonic 3 and Knuckles requires a precise setup. Knuckles has his own simple level wrap, so long as you're not stupid like me. In Act 2, after going up the slide, Knuckles can't simply climb over the level, meaning he needs some assistance. Good thing there are some shark guys nearby. Glide over them to load them in, and go back to the wall. Then, timing a glide jump and letting go of jump will shoot him over the screen. Move left and climb over some random wall to zip off screen. Wow, I sure hope somebody got fired for that. Marble garden, eh? I don't see anyone growing marbles. Oh, that kind of marble. Wow, this is a cool level, man. It wraps vertically to simulate a long fall. That's really neat. It sure would be a shame if I just ducked and jumped at the first junction. It would be real unfortunate if I did a vertical wrap after the twisty-turny thing. And whatever you do, don't get stuck in the spring and go through the wall. It would also be really annoying if you did the same thing before the mini-boss and ended up stuck in the back rooms. But hey, at least Act 2 Robotnik is here. Sonic 3 and Knuckles doesn't really add more glitches to Marble Garden. Everything I just mentioned is possible in Sonic 3 alone. I mention all of that because there is one thing they fixed, and it's the Act 1 mini-boss crash. Now, no matter what, the camera always pans over to avoid a game crash. They had to have been aware of everything else, right? Right? On to Act 2. Well, more like halfway through Act 2. You'll come across a spin dash switch that raises some platforms. Nothing wrong here. Yet. With enough rings to go hyper, have Tails activate the switch and transform through the rising platforms. Now Sonic's in the floor. Holding right zips us off screen and into the loop back. Or rather, the sewers? Sewerbacks. Welcome to the... Here we can see some very misplaced backgrounds. Going left and we can find graphical puke. This is what happens when you eat too much level. Be careful, as going too far down will kill you. Going into the sewerbacks is technically possible in Sonic 3 alone, but getting back into the level requires hypersonic. With Tails, fly over the vomit onto this pillar. Fly up again and double jump onto here. This is actually part of the earthquake section. Fly up to the right once more and voila! Like nothing wrong ever happened. Damn, Sonic, why are you Aura farming like that? Okay, now that's just silly. Simply flying Sonic onto a top freaks out his animations. Tails can do the same. If you were wondering, no, Knuckles can't join in, because Tails isn't with him. Guess Knuckles just has negative aura. What the? No, it can't be. I thought y'all were enemies. Tails is a traitor? I knew something was off earlier. Wait, if Tails is here, then where is Sonic? Interesting behavior. You're probably wondering what's going on. Sonic and Knuckles each have their own unique bosses in Marble Garden Act 2. And the developers keep Knuckles out by placing an eyeball guy just out of reach. Damn, sorry little bro. While Sonic can't climb up walls, Knuckles can very carefully, and I mean very carefully, ride a top into this breakable wall, giving him enough room to spin dash jump into this man's eyes.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Or you could just fucking clip through with a yellow spring. Either way, you'll go down Sonic's path, and Tails will be a guest star. Hi, welcome to the show! How are you doing today? You know, I'm really happy to be here. I've always wanted... Good to hear, good to hear. The game has no objections, and lets Knuckles move on to Carnival Night. Sonic, however, needs help from Mr. Tails. At the first junction, have Tails lift you up to the top path. Keep using Tails as needed until you pass the pull hook. From here, charge a spin dash and release it onto the nearby platform. Sonic should go right over the wall. Pressing left skips all of Act 2. Wow! And if you look to your left, you can see the beautiful skyline. Just zipping off screen leads to Act 2's loopback. Everything from Sonic 3 should be present here as well, including fighting Eggman featuring a random wall. Oh, and your Sonic soft locked. Never trust them mud pits, man. To get Knuckles as boss, charge spin dashes to the left, and let go around here. I use the up sign as reference. Moving left and jumping around afterwards seemed to work for me. Again, the game has no objections to us destroying the in-game lore, and lets us continue as normal. Well, as normal as it can get. Balloons are pretty cool, right? Well, what about a balloon made of pee? Oh god, no. Just like bonus stage rings, Hyper's double jump collides with balloons and bumpers. Something cool to note is in Sonic 3, if you jump onto a fan, Sonic can still do mid-air actions like the Insta-Shield, Flame Dash, Double Jump, and Bubble Bounce, to an extent. In Sonic 3 and Knuckles though, they fixed it. Damn it, Knuckles. Sega really wanted to hold you back, huh? Oddly enough, in Sonic Jam, they reverted this fix. You can tell it's Sonic Jam by the awful sounds. Kinda weird. Anyways, if Knuckles glides into a right-facing clam, it'll reverse his gliding animation. Left-facing clams don't have this issue. Knuckles, what are you trying to say? This also happens if you end up in Sonic's Act 2 and glide into the sorta watery bumper section. Knuckles' path seemed more like an afterthought in Carnival Night, and never really merges with Sonic's. Luckily, Knuckles has ways to access good Carnival Night. Right at the beginning of Act 1, get these speed shoes. Haul ass until you get past the candy canes. Quick, hit a big jump. Don't stop, the Batbots are coming. Ugh, phew. That was close. Hitting a good jump is way harder than it looks. And even if you do, you gotta do it big. Mods, show that jump again with the doing it big border. Knuckles can now freely play Sonic's Act 1 with no issues. Both Sonic and Knuckles fight the mini-boss in the same exact area. You can see how the game does this by luring a Batbot. Don't worry, there's one nearby. Down Knuckles' boss hallway. Hey, where'd you go? Oh, there he is. Halfway in, the game does some silent teleporting. We can see this again when the flag spawns. I don't know why it needed to do it here, but okay. Excuse me, sir. Do you have a minute to talk about the slope glitch? Another Sonic staple. The slope glitch can be achieved several different ways. In Carnival Night specifically, have Tails airlift Sonic on top of a cannon. Tails enters, but Sonic doesn't. Spin dashing slowly lowers him down into it. Reaching the bottom and releasing grants us slope glitch status, letting us walk on thin air. Basically what's happening here is Sonic's moving at the angle of the last thing he touched. So, flat ground, he'll move horizontally. But a slope, he'll move at that angle, hence the slope glitch. Letting us get into the floor, into Knuckles' section, and whatever this is. Sonic 3 has the same exact glitch with cannons, I just for gore. So are all the other variations like shooting the cannon at the bottom, leading to an infinite spin dash, and spin dashing out mid-descent, then firing, Zoop Sonic back to reality.
Snap back to reality.
Congratulations! You're a certified sloper. Here's your diploma, letter of recommendation, and your bill. Back to the mini-boss. With Hypersonic, you can enter the arena and double jump back into the hallway. Doing so shoves Sonic inside the wall. If Tails beats it while you're in there, you get crushed. Getting pushed into the wall has the same effect. Playing as Tails alone, jumping down after beating the boss, then flying really low, clips him through the floor into the sewers. Although you won't get very far. Tails has no way out besides dying. Knuckles' glide looks like it wants to work, but it doesn't. Trust me, I tried. Playing as Sonic alone, Tails guest starring at the end of Act 1 got fixed. Before, going through Act 1 without dying, entering a bonus stage or special stage, would see our buddy Tails guest starring after the boss. Wow! Wonderful performance, Tails! Can we get a round of applause? Now he doesn't appear at all. The glitches they choose to fix, man. As a compromise, jumping off before landing keeps Tails from flying away. Knuckles can easily glide into Sonic's path. Yeah, there's literally nothing stopping you. There's no time to dick around though, as Knuckles' egg capsule won't spawn, meaning you have to climb all the way up the tube into Sonic's boss fight, which does properly have Egg Robo, and this boss stinks as Knuckles, since you can only get 2 hits every attack cycle. Well, realistically. Right before Knuckles turns out the lights, have Tails stand on this specific barrel. If you hyper flash away, it'll freeze him in place. And takes part of his head. In the same area, if Knuckles causes an earthquake on the ceiling, he dies. Another glitch they fixed was Super and Hyper getting Sonic soft-locked in the ceiling. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Carnival ceilings. In Sonic 3, jumping into this ramp would lead directly into a 10-minute timeout. Sonic 3 and Knuckles gives them proper collisions. The glitches they chose to fix, man. Have you ever wanted to keep the lights off? Or always keep them on? Well, Hypersonic's got the remedy for you. Before the Knuckles cutscene, there are 2 barrels leading up into a fire shield, and to the cutscene. Transform clip through, and head to the right side. Okay, here's the difficult part. Duck down, and have Tails lift you up. Eventually, Tails just lets go, which is really annoying. So we have to perfectly time a double jump to end up inside the barrel, and through the wall. Now just zip out, and Knuckles will never turn off the lights. Keeping the lights off is a little easier. Still with Hypersonic, do the same thing below the light switch. Tails is fucking stupid here, and likes to despawn or grab the cylinder. I found moving him slightly right and jumping sets him up nicely to pick up Sonic. Now just double jump through the unloaded spikes. Technically both glitches are possible in Sonic 3 alone, they're just practically impossible to pull off in normal gameplay. Not turning the lights back on has a weird side effect of not lowering the water level. Hey Bluckles. Want some raisins? Hypersonic with tails, normal Knuckles, and Super Tails can fly right over Eggman. Doing so leads to the sewers. And Act 2's loop back. Hey look! Tetris! The launchers don't work, neither do the candy canes. But what's interesting is the wheel does. Another way to achieve skipping Eggman is through speed running techniques. If you watched any Sonic glitch videos, you'll probably remember that standing near a wheel still gives you the wheel physics. And there's 3 ring monitors conveniently below a wheel, right at the start of Act 1, leading to some very interesting gameplay. Remember not to jump, as it'll reset your physics. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but we're gonna do a level wrap, which Act 1's version seems a little easier in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Move to the right and quickly spin dash when the spike's lower. Try to end up on this platform in order to run off onto this platform. Sonic can walk upside down with no issues. Get on the left of these spikes and run off the edge. Quickly roll through the ring monitors and switch to holding left. With a good angle, Sonic should run on nothing. Scale up the nothing and zoosh! Off we go! You should end up somewhere in Tetris. Spin dashing beforehand lets us run on the wall. Getting hit shouldn't reset your wheel glitching state, but jumping will. Wahoo! That was just Act 1. Sonic 3 and Knuckles has a different method of skipping Act 2 with the wheel glitch, which is part of the reason I mentioned the wheel glitch in the first place. And honestly, I don't have the time or patience anymore to learn it. So here's a speedrunning clip of it in action. Pretty crazy, huh? Finally, the cannon that takes you to Ice Cap takes Sonic's control instead of Tails'. Meaning no more Sonic jumping around like a moron. After enough dicking around, Sonic will, blast into Ice Cap Zone? Yeah, blast into Ice Cap Zone. Did you know there are actually 50 rings in the skiing, snowboarding intro? Yeah, doing a very short hop right around 10 seconds grants you 10 extra rings, letting you go, oh god, change it back, super or hyper during the intro. Not hitting a wall also lets you snowboard in the level a little bit. Hey! I wish to snowboard too. Wow, that easy, huh? Knuckles gets stopped by an overhang, but a well-timed spin dash jump clears it, letting him go a little bit further. I don't need skis or boards. Ha 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 ha! Hyper can do the same by screen scrolling into Knuckles' area. Tails has no issue jumping in. Then grab onto Tails at the peak of his jump. A double jump should barely get you up. I don't know about you, but something looks wrong. Now everything is in a brightly lit cave. Weird how only Sonic's version gets graphical glitches. Guess it has something to do with the snowboarding intro? Speaking of which, in Sonic 3 alone, the game would set a vertical looping flag during the snowboarding intro, leading to Tails alone getting trolled, since he doesn't snowboard. This bug was infamous because the English manual actually referenced it, stating, "In the ice cap zone, and throughout the game, avoid having Tails get stuck in passageways or get caught in traps. Have Tails activate star posts in order to enter a special stage as quickly as possible." Wow, I sure hope somebody got fired for that blunder. This was fixed in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. That wasn't the only change made to Ice Cap. In Sonic 3, the snow pile, despite covering Sonic, never actually took his movement. S3 and K forces you to jump out of it. Pretty cool detail. But Tails can still pick him up out of the snow. Pressing left, right, up, or down has no effect, since the game's waiting for you to press jump. So if we just fly far enough away to deload the snow pile, Sonic will be permanently stuck, even on the slide. Also, if Tails breaks an ice block while Sonic's standing on it, he gets the slope glitch. Sonic 3 had it the other way around. Way easier compared to landing on the ice block and moving right at the correct time. It is still possible, but harder. We'll come back to this later. Ice Cap separates Knuckles' path with some breakable ice walls. Sonic's just too weak to break them. No matter. We'll just clip past them instead. Scroll the screen down and jump to phase right into Knuckles' section. From here, we can see that super forms aren't affected by ice spikes anymore. Even though Sonic never encounters floating spikes, they pierced through Super Sonic's invincibility. Hypersonic's Flash collides with every ice spike on screen, causing crazy lag. Hey, wasn't there a penguin down here? And where's the electric shield? Causing a big lag spike like that keeps some objects from loading due to, you know, all the ice particle lag. Remember earlier on Angel Island when I mentioned reloading at a checkpoint causes Act 2's music to play in Act 1? They forgot to fix that in Ice Cap. Once we exit the cave, the game internally considers us in Act 2, meaning Act 2 is actually loaded behind the scenes. Remember this for later. Knuckles' boss is fully implemented now, so we can't just run into Act 2 like we own the place. Uh-oh, who turned on the lights? The game thinks we should be outside, so it applies the daytime palette to the cave. It persists all the way up to the spring section. What a convenient background element. More background issues come up by exiting the cave too fast. Even more issues come up if you screen scroll right before this divot in the snow. Screen scroll and move slightly to the right, then back left. If you see some broken up sprites, you got it. Now just head out of the cave. Hey, who turned out the lights? The game thinks we should be inside, so it applies the cave palette to the outside. Beating the ice ball fixes it. Now, let's say you got through all of Act 1 without dying, entering a special stage, or getting any of the checkpoints, then somehow die to the mini-boss. If this happens, the game punishes you for your foolishness with a Sonic soft lock. Because what actually happened is the game loaded Knuckles' boss below us, but has the camera locked to Sonic's boss. Guess I'm not the only foolish one. Knuckles can do the same glitch from earlier by screen scrolling past the ice pillar. Oh, come on, you couldn't break through that one, and doing the same setup. I don't know why, but it was way harder to pull off with Knuckles. Oh hey, Ice Ball.
Bite my shiny metal ass.
Knuckles can actually skip all of that noise by climbing up the nearby wall and gliding right over. Now we're in Act 2, in Act 1. You can tell since it's still snowing. The snow effect takes up a lot of space and memory, meaning if we beat Egg Robo towards the left side of the screen, it'll result in a true soft block. All the snow being loaded keeps the score tally from loading in, effectively freezing Knuckles. Beating Egg Robo to the right is perfectly fine though. Act 2 on its own doesn't have many S3 and K exclusive glitches. Hey! Stop eating the level! Bad stand-in! Bad! We can perform the slope glitch even if the ice blocks have monitors inside of them. Have Tails lift us on top of, say, the Eggman capsules and balance on the edge. Then have Tails break it. Perfect! Now let's land on the dark blue part of this slope. Hold left to get through the floor, and away! If we scale this wall, we can freak out the background again. Good thing my Sega Genesis has a handy dandy fast forward feature. See, that's why you don't eat the level. What did I tell you? Up top now, using Tails, we can easily jump over the stage into a tube. Entering this way doesn't apply the tube physics, meaning we have free reign over this tube. I mentioned this last time, but I don't think I covered this. Yeah. Continuing through the top path, you'll find a set of 3 loops. Going through all 3 fast enough stops Sonic dead in his tracks. Imagine the whiplash on that one, holy! Going really fast with, say, Super or Hyper will clip him through the floor. Nowhere else but down. Also forgot to cover this outcome. Funny Bridge makes a return also. Spin dashing above this slope into the bridge makes you constantly push and go upside down. Tails' version is pretty silly. Knuckles' version is even goofier. Also, Super Tails' flickies can get frozen by Eggman. Very interesting. Okay, back to the slope glitch. All the absolute craziness from Sonic 3 is more than possible still, letting us get back into and under the intro, into Sonic soft blocks, god damn it, and skip to the end. Where we end up is very dependent on your speed when you clip through the wall and on your way to the end. I just had to get the feel for it, but whenever you do end up far enough, Hyper's double jump doesn't cancel the slope glitch, so we're free to rain hell. Let's go fight Knuckles' boss instead. Land on the top of the first snow mound, right where it starts going down. This keeps the screen from locking correctly. Zip around a bit until the tip of a snow mound is on the left side of the screen. Hold right until Sonic dips down far enough, and have Tails try to grab him. Yo, Metal Ice Ball, how you doing?
Bite my shiny metal ass.
Make sure you're towards the left though, because the ice ring gets applied to the next available sprite, including the ice blocks. Before exiting the tunnel, you can clip into the floor by landing where a snow mound should start. Zipping right then left fast enough, we'll do a level wrap. Because we're technically in Act 2. Doing it in the cave leads to Act 2's loop back. Not that you can really explore since we get blocked by the first loop. Bummer! Going through the 3-loop section and past the special stage, there are some very convenient ice blocks. Slope it up and jump down. Running down this slope will eventually push us into the loop back proper. See? Here's Knuckles' boss arena. However, the objects that make the loops work is still missing. Bummer! At least we can run into the floor. Using debug to pass this stupid loop, it leads to some short but interesting loopback sewers. And finally, if you're good enough, which I'm not, you can enter launch base from behind. Rolling on a rotating cylinder makes you stand. But now you can do it as Knuckles. Knuckles is also immune to lasers while climbing. Finally, some good aura farming. Knuckles' boss fight causes a lot of issues. And I mean a lot. Mainly in Act 2, so we'll come back to that. Continuing with Knuckles, if we have his hyper form, get to the section with 2 red switches. Knuckles also just goes through red switches while climbing, so we can hit the second one and use his Earthquake ability to close the red gate for a Knuckles soft lock. Launch base has a bunch of bird alarms scattered everywhere. Passing through them summons flybots, enemies that can follow you to the ends of the earth. So we can get into some pretty wacky situations by luring them away. Be careful, they'll despawn if you move too far away. Towards the end of Act 1, there is a series of elevators that lead to the boss rooms. Well, as our boy Knuckles, lure a flybot to the first elevator in this series. Getting hit into an elevator lets you spin dash while getting spun around, letting Knuckles escape into the wall. Going right leads to Act 1's loopback. Almost. Going inside the first building leads to Knuckles' boss. And going up said building leads to Sonic's boss, which doesn't exist. You can actually see the crumbling platforms from the bombing cutscene. Neat. Sonic's boss room leads to the loopback. The first loopback building is oddly open. We're actually inside the teacup building, without any objects. Next to it is a closed building that we can't enter. These are the chunks used to simulate going in and out of a building, hence the weird geometry and no objects. Going left inside the wall, somehow Knuckles gained slope glitch status. Rolling on a nearby ramp leads to the sewer backs. This yellow spring is present in both Act 1 and 2, for some reason. Gliding down, you'll see the typical cut-off background, pillars, and misplaced background elements. That's pretty green.
Elephant green screen effect.
Eventually the level ends, but jumping down causes the camera to freak the hell out. Moving left or right will inevitably kill you. Alright, continuing onward, and oh look! A conveniently placed bird alarm. It's at this point I realize just how awful luring flybots is. Because they're stupid. It is so easy to accidentally destroy them, or they'll just erase themselves. Very slowly climb down the wall and glide over to the right. Hopefully the flybot cooperates. If it does, climb up and get hit into the tube for a very rough Knuckles soft lock. Whoo-wee! Knuckles sure did have a lot of glitches in Act 1. For his last one, pay close attention. Did you see it? During the Act 2 transition, some metal turns blue.
Why are you blue?
Back to Sonic and Tails. When Eggman grabs the magical Techno Cube, he runs away from Sonic. But he doesn't run away from Tails. Eggman is seemingly immune to dying, but he actually has 256 health, the highest number possible. Right before dying, he looks pretty scared. Landing the last hit reveals he was an animal the whole time? Nope, that was one of Eggman's traps, because we're Sonic soft-locked. Instead, leave him with one hit left. Now we can beat him after spawning the mini-boss. Eggman's not gone, though. No. His spirit lives on in our dust clouds. He also possesses random sprites throughout Act 2. Look, there's his spirit again under Knuckles. Oh god, he grew an extra head! Wait, isn't all this possible in base Sonic 3? Yes it is. But Sonic 3 alone opts to have his defeated sprite possess us. And the garbled up messes in Act 2 look slightly different. Guys, it's a reference to the funny man liquid. So, for some odd reason, Sonic 3 and Knuckles changed this monitor from rings to a flame shield. Why on earth is it a flame shield? You're literally forced to lose it because it's right above water. Anyway, if you carry an electric shield into Act 2 and go the lower path, land right next to said flame shield and spin dash into it. Going super or hyper lets you at least see where you're at. You'd figure Knuckles could do the same thing, but no, there's no water up here. Sorry, Knuckles. In the same section, Hypersonic can get into Knuckles' Act 2. Jump back into the top path, but not really. Then Hyper will slide underneath the slope. Yikes! Not supposed to be here. Head left under the red spring. It's pretty easy to get Sonic soft-locked, but if you zip low enough, you'll clip into Knuckles' boss arena. Ew, the waterfalls are frozen. How disgusting. This one's just cut off. What the hell? Now's a good time to mention that you can Tails assist onto a hook. Hyper's after images show Sonic slowly moving downwards. Tails even tries to join where the after image is. This does give you the slope glitch, but it's not very useful. Like Carnival Night, ceilings got a major nerf in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, so Super Sonic can't do a super shortcut anymore. Sonic 3's version, he would just run right on through. Knuckles' path joins Sonic's very briefly, only really being separated by this red switch and some Knuckles walls under the teacup. Hypersonic or Super Tails can hit said switch and go through Knuckles' area backwards. Very neat and all, but what about the rest of Knuckles' area? Well, the teacup holds our answer. Come to it with Super or Hyper, and ride the teacup up. Have only Sonic jump out. Tails will activate the teacup so we can sneak through the vent Among Us style. One attempt, I had Tails fly through the teacup, and I guess the game didn't like that, because it crashed. Like, literally, no soft reset, no joshing, just a straight up crash. Try double jumping when the teacup pushes Sonic through the vent. And huzzah! Knuckles is Act 2. Unlike Sonic 3, a boss fight actually triggers. Sonic's boss fight. Yeah, sorry, no Big Arms rematch. For once, in all of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the boss you fight is character dependent, not based on your location. Beating Eggman in the wrong location, unfortunately, is a true soft block. Alright, no need to rub it in. No matter what, the game never moves on to Mushroom Hill. Oh look, there goes the Death Egg again, and it loops over and over again. Also in Knuckles' area, lure a Flybot near the water current, get hit in, and hold down for a Sonic soft block, Eggman style. Knuckles can't actually fight Sonic's boss because he's too short to ride the teacups. Except actually he can, if you lure a nearby Flybot over and hit a glide jump off of it. Alternatively, in Knuckles' final area, spin dash up the final ramp and climb into Sonic's path. Amazing! However, you can really tell this boss was not designed with Knuckles in mind. It is possible to hit Eggman, just really dumb and precise. Cannonballs shoot out of the top and the bottom, the top one having an arc. Bring any shield and at least 50 rings, and get hit right here at the peak of its arc. If you're lucky, Knuckles will get knocked back into Eggman. Now just transform and you're done. The game takes no issue with Knuckles defying every bit of lore, but Knuckles himself is having second thoughts.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
NPC Knuckles doesn't exist, so real Knuckles gets hit by nothing. The game does object to fighting Eggman, and you face Egg Robo. And Big Arms. Now's a good time to mention, they fixed Big Arms taking away your invincibility. Instead, you bounce up with a sound. How cool is that? Something else they fixed was Darn It. You will be missed. In Sonic 3, beating Eggman really quickly, in combination with the ending cutscene, let the platform dip down back into the water, causing a palette issue. S3 and K, this literally can't happen. Removing the ending cutscene also conveniently fixes Cyborg Sonic and Cyborg Tails. I don't miss y'all that much. I've read that having Tails beat Big Arms while grabbed is supposed to be a soft block, but like, there's no situation ever where this could happen? In Sonic 3, Tails doesn't join in on the final boss. It's just Sonic. Despite being a huge traitor, he won't join Knuckles either. Sonic doesn't fight Big Arms in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, so what the hell? Forcing Tails to join Knuckles with a Game Genie code, we get frozen in place, and then break free. Using the same code in base Sonic 3, and the same thing happens. So like, where's the soft lock? Tails alone doesn't fight Big Arms either, but he has 4 tails. Reluctantly gazing at the starting line, hearts pumping and thumping in time, Tails comes down and Sonic goes up. Flying and trying, they yearn for the spikes. They deftly maneuver and muscle for rank, level burning fast on an empty tank. Reckless and wild, they shoot through the walls. Their boss is potent and secretly stern. He's going for Knuckles. He's going for speed. Alright, enough of that. What just happened? There are two methods for getting into Knuckles' Act 1 boss. The easiest being to go down the first cylinder, looking up and flying into the spikes. I hold down just to make sure I don't end up in the loopback. The red switch is also right above us. The other, way harder and much stupider way is bringing a flybot over to the first elevator and getting hit into it. The same idea as when Knuckles did it, spin dash and break out at just the right time. Unfortunately for Sonic, it is ridiculously easy to either get Sonic soft locked or end up in the loopback. You quite literally have to break out around here. Yeah, in this sort of area. And zip off screen. Definitely don't recommend this method. Anyways, Sonic only fights one twin hammer, so having two of them raises a lot of later issues. Just beating one ends the act like normal, minus the puke-covered twin. However, the floor disappears and makes a pit. If we regain control, the death floor happens earlier, respawning us in Act 2 while still technically in Act 1. Oh boy! Everything seems completely normal at first, except for the music. However, upon beating Eggman, things start to get a little funky, and not on a Friday night. Either way, the level will eventually end. From what I understand is the binary tiles are part of the dynamic background loaded incorrectly. To see more of the binary background, gain control during the tally, and spin dash to the other end. Just before the game takes your control again, spin dash into the corner. Sonic, what's wrong, buddy? Nothing's down there, you'll be fine. Oh, there goes the background. Never mind, we're in the sky again? The background loops indefinitely. Very odd. How's about we bring the fight back up top, with Tails and preferably a super form. Beating the other while the score tally is up? Ouch! No killer floor this time, but what killed Sonic? Well, I have no clue. So this time, have a bubble shield in reserve. Trust me. We can either beat one or both, each with varying effects. Let's beat one and save to make it easier. During the tally, Sonic's straight up invincible. But the moment it ends, spin dash away. No matter what, the leftover twin hammer will follow you till one of you dies. And it ain't gonna be me, because I have a bubble shield. Hey look, Knuckles is Act 2. Tails for some reason got scared off. The waterfalls are still motionless, and the water is set for Sonic's path. Good thing we got a bubble shield, huh? After getting 50 rings, you're home free to be as reckless as possible. Eventually Knuckles' path ties back into Sonic's. Beating the other twin hammer will trigger the score tally, even in Act 2. However, Act 2 doesn't end. Vinesauce Vinny reference, perhaps? On top of everything else, the music disappears, the timer stops, and you can't go hyper. Why? So what happens if we beat Twin Hammer in a really awkward spot? Like I mentioned, the boss follows you everywhere, even into the Eggman fights. It takes a while, but Twin Hammer will eventually catch up. Beat him now, and jump into the Eggmobile. What the hell was that? A ghost? Hey, no fair. I already won. Get out of here. No, not me, you idiot! Ew. Oh look, horrors beyond human comprehension. The game doesn't like it when Twin Hammer moves into a cutscene. Sonic automatically jumps out and destroys the boss, only for Eggman to join the fight, with no score tally this time. No, 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 no! Here begins Tails being in the Sonic and Knuckles levels. Right off the bat, playing as Sonic alone lets you keep Tails from flying away. Again. No guest starring though. It seems I have caught Knuckles slipping. It's kinda precise, but landing on the very, very, very edge of the switch will do this. Instead, jump on it from the right side and run under the door. Pause buffering is strongly advised, so briefly turn around, then hold left. Hopefully, Sonic ends up in the floor. Zip to the right and jump towards the end of the cliff. Move back near the switch, and quickly spin dash to the right and jump. Eventually, you'll clip further below. Get to the left edge using spin dash to edge forward. Then zoosh! Off we go! What a finicky level wrap. Sorry about that. Anyways, butterflies can go hyper. I wonder how this impacts the world of power scaling. Even the rocky wrenches have some quirks. Whenever they throw a mushroom, using Hyper's double jump sticks Tails to it, no matter where he is. Tails overall is fairly unpolished in Mushroom's Hill. Having him grab onto a monkey bar, then respawning him will keep him hanging around. Vines don't affect Sonic when he's being lifted by Tails. You can go far enough to deload the vines entirely. Putting floors between you and the vines will make them pull you through said floor. This even works on the dual vines in Act 2, just less effectively. Similar to the blue ramps in Hydrocity, the vine floors don't have collision from below. However, the vines lead to Knuckles' area. Right next to the speed shoes, we got a perfect vine. Hyper is needed later, and makes jumping at a really low angle a lot easier. Wow! Knuckles' area! Going further left reveals a Knuckles-only special stage ring, which we can grab by breaking through these walls. Ah yes, truly a Knuckles moment.
Knuckles, 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 Knuckles.
Doing it again, and we're back at the start. Unfortunately, we're stuck here unless you're TAS. You can escape the ring room by ducking down and Tails assisting back through. This Knuckles area is one of the only ones we can actually escape by flying from the loop and back through the vines as intended. Yo, we should save the butterflies, man. Didn't you see they have some insane power, man? Okay. Painstakingly bring at least 2 butterflies to the Lumberjack boss. Good thing my Sega Genesis has this crazy save reload feature. Truly a marvel of human technology. But trucking onward, we can see butterflies seemingly teleport. That's because this arena is one big looping screen. Beating the boss with both butterflies is a true softlock, by the way. But hey, we saved the forest, or something. Sonic & Knuckles has the same issue, I just didn't explore it that well last time. Something I did mention in that video, we want to kill him in the area where the screen loops. Doing so will nicely place you within the hill. Unfortunately, you can't level wrap. Actually, you can. Still doesn't mean I can pull it off. Displacing the arena isn't terrible. He has 6 hits, so leave him with 1 hit and let him deforest a whole ass tree. Then spin dash right into him when the screen unlocks. Move to the signpost and Act 2 will load right over you. Yes, there's actually a hill there, meaning we can zip around inside the floor. Unfortunately, this is as far as I got. You're supposed to jump down through the floor a few times and then zip off screen. In the interest of time, I use debug to move down. But hey, look, there goes the whole entire level. As Tails alone, simply fly into the Knuckles cutscene, and Tails can float. Once he gets blown, he can immediately fly again. Nice way to gain some extra distance. Instead of going down the first twisty-turny vine, jump over it and flash through Knuckles' fan walls. Now we can get back into the intro and get practically stuck. Doing the vine clip in the winter area leads to another Knuckles-only special stage ring. Jumping up lets us legitimately see the Blowy Joseph section. As per usual, getting the checkpoint is more of a troll, but getting into this section is kind of a troll anyways. Have you ever wondered what the sewers of a forest look like? No? Great! With Hyper or an electric shield preferably, although not technically needed, ride the left pulley upwards until you're almost out. Then lightly press down to get a few slight movements. Whenever you can pull down and only have the handle go underground, do an extremely short jump. And ew, gross! Hey look, a special stage ring. The background gets seriously cut off here, and scaling the pillars is kind of annoying. Moving too far right instantly kills you. The Lumberjack boss isn't the only one that can get displaced. If you have AI Tails or Super Tails' Flickies, activate Eggman, and entering the chase higher than normal freaks out the camera and the background. Eggman, what are you doing down there, man? Beating him corrects the camera. Kinda. Now there's 2 flying batteries. Tails continues to be broken in this fight, as one of his flickies magically hit a mushroom. Beating Eggman and immediately flying up makes a very awkward situation. Tails literally moving to the left after winning makes him fly with his mind. Awkward! Finally, with Tails and Sonic, gain control during the tally by lowering Sonic to the floor. The cutscene takes your control again, so jump onto the spring and fling Sonic into a death pit. A little less power, buddy. There you go. Ouch, dude. Tails is still just as broken as before. Let's break his ankles. Right at the start, get really close to the launcher, duck to scroll the screen down, and do an instant one-tap spin dash. Hold down once you get up the ramp and let go in the cheese grater entrance. Yeah, how do you like that, Tails? Now you're cursed with slope glitchiness. And the ability to go through walls. Flying looks pretty silly in this state. Basically, we store up a spin dash by hitting the launcher and releasing it inside the cheese grater for broken Tails. Both Sonic and Knuckles can do the same thing, but Tails' version is exclusive. Knuckles, what is happening to you? Are you okay? Why are you turning blue? Needless to say, but facing through the wall right next to the electric shield leads to the boss. Just make sure not to touch any stage objects or you'll regain gravity, but not your sanity. Okay, so if I talked about Act 1's slope glitch, I gotta mention it can be performed again by standing on the edge of the boss capsule as it commits sewer slide. Oddly enough, you can spin dash around, but only during the score tally, which is odd. But charge a spin dash near the edge of the screen and nail a jump around here to touch this upside down slope. Sonic will then run into the floor. Stop! Slow down here. Stop! Here you can see Sonic is just above some sheet metal. Wow. Stop! Jump and hold left now. Cool, now we're outside. Landing onto the next slope can lead to the inside, but it's outside? Landing on this angle zips us below the boss fight. Scaling the sewer mess is way more time consuming with this method. It would actually be faster to play the level normally. Besides, there is a better method to skip Act 2 coming up anyways. Hey, a better skip method. How convenient. Having Tails airlift us onto monkey bars has undesired effects. Sonic's physics get thrown out of whack, granting a pseudo slope glitch state. The game still thinks we're monkeying around, but also sorta gives us the slope glitch. We can use this to climb through the nearby wall into a Sonic soft block. You may think this is the starting area, but inside. And no, this is a level chunk used for switching between indoors and outdoors. The starting area is actually above us. See, this one has the launcher. We can see the chunks switch out when performing the Act 1 slope glitch. Airlifting onto the last monkey bar pulls Sonic by his head. That must take some real thinking power. Spin dashing now grants infinite spin dash and a Sonic soft block. So what? Is this glitch only good for Sonic soft blocks? Well, no. When pulled by his head, Sonic can just walk off. Deloading the monkey bars gets rid of the monkey bar physics, meaning we have full slope glitch status. Running up the middle of the ramp grinds Sonic's face into the next outdoor section. Continuing to grind the wall, another Sonic soft block. But turning around mid-wall leads to the outside, but inside.
You already did that.
Instead, let's double jump onto the upside down slope and run all the way to the top. Okay, not all the way because Sonic soft lock. Stop just before you go above the screen and press right to zip into the outside, but inside. Somehow the propeller poles don't take away the slope glitch. Going far enough magically fixes the background. Jump out before entering the ceiling and run up the upside down slope. Somehow it's not a Sonic soft lock, but actually leads outside but inside again. From the bottom? How did you loop the screen, dude? The camera gets locked in place, but Sonic can't die. These rings just don't work either. Jumping around on the right side will sink Sonic further into the floor and leads to the other outside section, which does let Sonic feel the sweet release of death. Alright, bear with me. I'm almost done. Remember how grinding into a wall was a Sonic soft lock? Well, what if we simply don't stop inside of the wall? We can continue hitting a sick face grind into the Act 1 boss, but outside. In Act 2, reperforming the monkey bar glitch can let you skip the laser boss, depending on which monkey bar you do it on. Doing it on the last set, after getting carried by Spider-Man, is probably the easiest, but Hyper is definitely recommended. Climb through the wall and press left to get fully consumed. Then it's a matter of carefully zipping out and scaling the sewer pillars back up. Oh man, the boss platform's above us. Lame. Normally you'd think we just got trolled, but once everything stops moving, Tails can lift us through the platform into the boss fight. And yes, those are actually clouds.
Clouds?
Performing the glitch earlier, press left inside the floor to end up below the loop. Run into the floor and very carefully avoid stage objects, which includes the one-way moving floor. God, that was annoying. After the fire pillar, ram face first into the floor and right into the boss arena. No climbing required.
Clouds?
Although not much of a glitch, but it's worth mentioning. Knuckles' version of this boss is suspiciously Eggman looking. I guess they didn't have time to make a front-facing Egg Robo sprite. This is common knowledge by this point, but Sonic Origins actually fixed this issue. Crazy fix! 28 years later. Bravo, Sega! Oh boy! Thankfully that's all over with. Let's move on. In Act 1, there's an upper outdoors area with some spring yard half-pipes. While I did mention this last time, these spike balls make Sonic do some sick tricks after getting hit. But if you're super / hyper, they can actually push you inside the ramp if you're spin dashing, for a crushing death. Also, I forgot to mention this last time, but these hidden rings are mad weird. They don't have any collision when coming from above them, even with an electric shield. However, you can see going down a little makes them randomly start working. Tails being broken in Sonic & Knuckles is definitely becoming a reoccurring theme, and it's not stopping. As Tails alone, get to this tight moving platform section halfway into Act 1. Flying into the second one can push him into the wall. If he doesn't die or get pushed out, it'll lead to an unshortcut. If both Tails and Sonic enter a cheese grater at the same time, Tails, this works on both horizontal and vertical ones. Tails, buddy, you're scaring me. Leaving him on a propeller pole and respawning him keeps him frozen on the pole. Nah, man, he's just practicing his gymnastics. Leave him alone. And those gymnastics pay off, because he can jump mid-air. These capsule springs bounce Tails up, regardless of whether he's grounded or mid-air. On to Act 2, with Tails alone, flying towards the middle left of the first corkscrew drives him into the floor for a neat little shortcut. And finally with Tails, airlifting Sonic into Spider-Man's loving arms makes him fall through the cheese grater. Curse you, Spider-Man! I mentioned this glitch last time, but Eggman's lasers can be clipped through. Clipping through the left one, we can see some
clouds,
while going to the right lets us skip the boss entirely. Graphics aren't loaded properly, while the laser boss is still active, leading to Robotnik leg monitors. Oh, and you can transform clip through the rising floor. Guess you won't be moving on to Sandopolis. Man, the wind sure is picking up. It's making the air mighty crunchy. I think a level transition is coming on. Hey, Tails, what are you up to now? Oh, I guess he doesn't like sand. Yeah, the task level wrap is absolutely piss easy with Tails. You literally fly up at the beginning and into this corner. Words cannot express my disbelief after trying with Knuckles. Tails can also use 3 loops to clip into walls. But wait, what even is a 3 loop? Well, we hired a talking cat to explain what a 3 loop is. Thank you, talking cat. I couldn't understand anything you just said. Do 2 loops, and before exiting the loop, fly into the exit, but just narrowly miss the top, and Tails will stand inside of it, letting us walk straight through the wall. However, it's more silly looking than anything. This can be basically done in any 3 loop, to varying degrees of helpfulness. Yes. Hydro skip indeed. Are you tired of pushing sand blocks? Are you tired of getting whipped for being too slow? Do you want an easier way to build giant sand triangles? Well, boy howdy do I have the thing for you. Spin dashing. Yep, that's right. Simply spin dashing next to a pushable object pushes it automatically. We don't know how or why, but the FDA doesn't need to know that. What matters is that it works, and it even works backwards. Known side effects include undesirable situations, loud screaming pain, and body spasms. All 3 characters can do this, including our boy Tails. But after pushing a block up the sand slide, it falls down and goes through a wall. Well, with Tails, we can go through the wall with it. And die. Who would win? Sonic and Tails or Sandfalls? Oof, looks like Sandfalls take round 1. Tails doesn't look so good. Uh-oh, looks like Tails is carrying Sonic. I guess this is more of a tie. Final round, fight! Tails makes the first approach. And Sonic's running away? Wait. I can't believe my eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Tails has defeated the Sandfall! Nothing can stop them now! Some Sandfalls will give Tails the slope glitch if he gets deloaded inside of one. Dashing through the same Sandfall into quicksand keeps us tumbling.
Speed!
Sonic & Knuckles alone has the same glitch, it just requires a different flame shield setup. Mostly through Act 1, a 3-loop contraction flings us over some spikes. Stand on said spikes and fly up here. Fly up and to the right once more to double jump over the stage. be careful as only the sides of these buildings have collision. Jump off the second tower and flash downwards into premature death. Or to the right for the mini-boss. A couple of glitches can be done with him. First, defeat Sandman and use Tails to regain control. Now we can die during the tally. Not that it does anything. Honestly, I expected it to load me into Act 2, since that's what happens in Hydrocity. But we can make Tails turn into his alter ego, Shadow Tails. Lure Sandman all the way to the quicksand, then run all the way to the right. Let Tails finish him off. That's part of his backstory. Once Tails rejoins us, have them switch places. But keep Sonic in front of the door. Once the tally ends, Tails massively overshoots and becomes Shadow Tails. So long, Shadow Tails. You will be missed. Light switches work similarly to Flying Battery's monkey bars, just without the monkeys. Having Tails fly us onto one gives Sonic the slope glitch, but only when the switch is loaded. Deload in the right spot to get clipped into the floor, leading to a nice shortcut. Shouldn't there be like, I don't know, a Sonic soft lock? Ah, you're learning! Very smart! Look up and fly down to the left into some spikes. Since Act 2 wraps vertically, Sonic is stuck falling over and over again. Almost like a portal? Portal reference! Doing the same clip on the second light switch right here lets us get under the quicksand for a sandy soft block. Going through the rising sand isn't exclusive to Sonic 3 and Knuckles. However, there are a few easier exclusive methods available now. Like Tails just has to fly low enough and he'll eventually just slip through. But it gets worse. With both Hyper and Tails, don't hit the first butt plug. Instead, fly past it and double jump up. This hits a later butt plug and starts the sand way higher. This isn't just darkness, it's advanced darkness. Eventually the sand rejoins us, but not really. The rising sand only goes so far. Oh hey, there's some background. Oh, my bad. Flying up to the right lets us explore further into glitchy Act 2. And yeah, I don't think Sandfall's ever recovered after last time. Level geometry gets super messed up, even killing you if you go too high. Since Act 2 wraps vertically, ducking and jumping freaks out the camera, deloading object collisions. So using this, we can skip the ghost capsule. Keep in mind, checkpoints automatically respawn the ghosts. Bypass any sand wall, or bypass Knuckles' walls. Last time we got stuck here, but both Tails and Hyper can reach the sand plug. Screen scroll and we can clip into the boss room. With the wrong camera. Similar to earlier, have Tails break the plug off screen and we'll be under the sand. Now, jumping along the wall's edges will lead to the boss. Notice how the lights don't turn on. The boss has no shell, and the camera is unlocked. Unfortunately for Eggman, getting hit freezes him in place. That's not right. Somehow the rising sand is still active, and yeah, these platforms have collision. Moving too far right is also a true soft lock, since the lava reef transition is blocked off. Anyways, entering this way gives us an opportunity to see just how big the boss's invisible barrier is. They really didn't want you getting behind him. Even if you did, they gave this boss a secret attack. Once he marches all the way to the end, he does this. Also, entering with the lights on will freak out the egg golem's palette. It'll change as the lights change. Hitting him turns it amber orange. Neat. Okay, so when we clipped into the wall, jump around here and press left to zip just before the boss arena. Entering from below like this has more unusual effects, and not the TF2 kind. Ducking then spin dashing in does lock the camera, albeit lower, meaning getting to the capsule is another true soft lock. Using the screen scroll glitch and double jumping absolutely destroys the game. Pressing start resumes the gameplay. Sometimes you get a soft reset, other times... Oh god, what did you eat? Or whatever this is. Finally, we aren't soft locked. Tails, you've got some bad gas. Getting caught in a gas cloud upsets Tails' flying abilities. I mean, hey, if I needed to fart, I'd act the same way. The big ramp in Act 1 works both ways. Nothing exclusive. But Hyper makes it so much funner. Moving back and forth just right puts you behind the background. Something Hyper does make trivial is getting into Knuckles' section. Sure, you could bring a flame shield and put the spin dash platform at just the right notch and spin dash under it just right. But you could also just double jump through like nothing. Oh no, something's happening! Oh, it's just you. Hitting the driller and deloading it can cause the same palette issue from Marble Garden. But what happens if you hit it 256 times? Will it explode like Eggman? Unfortunately, nothing happens. Sonic nerds, hit the driller until it explodes. Hyper can actually breeze through Knuckles' area. Ugh, here's a big glitch catalyst. And I mean huge. Yes, I'm talking about the rising lava. Nothing out of the ordinary right now. Going into a nearby bonus stage completely deloads the lava. Showing the bottom isn't actually solid. That's cool and all, but we want the lava to exist. Alternatively, bring 50 rings to the lava and transform clip while it rises. Clipping past the lava never actually makes the lava stop. It rises and lowers the entire time. The game kinda treats this as an event, and only knows to stop the lava once we reach a certain position. Stupid game. Backtracking far enough proves it. I don't think that's part of the lava. You know what else is considered an event? The lava turning into obsidian after beating the boss. Which can't happen because the other lava is rising and lowering. So instead of Act 2, we get Act 1. But blue! Welcome to the loopback. Going to the right and we see the lava's still doing its thing. No, we actually want to go up. This lets us get into an unused ring room with relative ease. Going further up and, looks like it took the background with it. Fly up above this lava pit, past more lava. Remember, there are no level objects, so the lava is actually harmless. Once more, we need to fly up just before re-entering the cave, and I promise it'll get interesting. It's annoying, but have Tails jump from the peak of a rock to make it over the stage. Somehow not a soft lock. Move to the left and land on the edge of the walls, or else you'll fall right down. Getting over the wall of lava can be pretty annoying. Like, what did I get stuck on? Charging a spin dash jump should be just enough to clear it. The pillar's sides are empty, so once past the third pillar, it's safe to fall down. Hello again, Blue Act 1! A lot of sprites look like they've seen better days. Ugh, you call that a spike ball? Riding down the elevator, let's go right first, and get the already active checkpoint. Go back and die, and you'll respawn in Act 2, but it's Act 1. Oh no. Beating the boss now turns the act suspiciously Toadbup themed. Again, but with no timer or music. Not technically a soft lock, but we've basically trolled ourselves into a game over. Screw that. Let's just reset the game. Going left now, and we're near the rising lava again. Let's try turning it off now. Oh god, that didn't work. Well, we're f***ed. A reset is a common outcome, but sometimes the game straight up crashes. This happens because deloading the lava gives the game the go-ahead to load all of Act 2 at once. You can get a variety of colorful game crashes this way. But I'm not done yet. Zipping off to the left, Sonic will end up vibrating on the end of the screen. We're stuck here, aren't we? So yeah, hyper rings and switches share the same palette. Crazy, right? Right? Okay, so last time I mentioned the Act 2 level wrap, if you hit a bonus monitor and roll under it. A lot harder than it looks. A lot harder. Tails makes it a hell of a lot easier, due to having a smaller hitbox. Finally, somewhere that's actually useful. Have Tails roll under the monitor, and be under it at the peak of its bounce. Tails ends up in the rocks. Don't zip off immediately. Wait 6 or 7 seconds before zipping off screen. That's certainly close enough. So is that. Tails alone uses the wrong sprite when getting hit by Knuckles' boulder. It's supposed to be his falling sprite. Bozo! Near the Eggman monitors, we can do 2 different glitches. Flying up to the right leads to some spinning cylinders. You probably know where I'm going with this. Have Tails latch on and deload him, and he'll respawn with tails all over the place. How many tails do you have, dude? With Hypersonic, get above these spikes and look up. Use tails to dip into them and clip into the wall. Using this oddly placed tube takes us to Knuckles' section. Flash through the rocks to get further. We're coming towards a dead end soon. Well, guess that's it. Never mind. For whatever reason, this block doesn't crush you. Continuing up the rotating cylinders leads to a very gassy hallway and a Knuckles tube. The game has no problems letting you fly up the tube. double jump forward to get thrown around, eventually into the next Knuckles area. Hyper makes exploring easier as per usual. Damn it, dead end again. Act 2 has a big ramp moment halfway in. Big day for ramp enthusiasts. Unfortunately for them, simply rolling off the ramp is a Sonic soft lock. Sorry, ramp lovers. Just before Knuckles rocks our socks off, fly up to the nearby platform. Hyper makes these rock walls more of a rock suggestion, and lets us back into Knuckles' section. It's almost like we're really Knuckles the Enchilada. More suggestive walls and fun ramps. It seems the walls are actually serious now, because we're in prison. Another Sonic soft lock is possible with Knuckles' big bad boulder. Passing the last set of crumbling platforms starts Knuckles' theme. Instead of confronting him, let's drop down below and go into his section. Knuckles, you clever dog, you. Base Sonic & Knuckles has the same issue. I just don't think I mentioned it. Onto the boss now. Make sure you can still go hyper. I wouldn't do it immediately because god damn it's hyper hard to control in this section. When the camera goes far enough right, it'll unlock. Immediately double jump down. And any second now. Nope. The rock platform never gets a chance to come down, so the boss fight never starts.
Nope.
Let's just skip all that noise. Fly up to the same platform from earlier, and just fly over Knuckles and jump over the stage. Hidden Palace. Knuckles, you're in for it now. Knuckles and Tails are linked to a lot of true soft locks. For example, inch your way into the arena, but don't fight Knuckles. Once the boss music starts, have Tails beat him. Hey, whoa, break it up, you two. Curse you, camera! Beating Knuckles stops the timer, so this is a true soft lock. Speaking of Tails, if we play right, we can two-shot Knuckles. Jump over Knuckles and get hit. Have Tails be inside of him, and he'll immediately fold. Knuckles usually has 8 hits. I don't know why this happens. While attempting this, I got Tails to slide around while spin dashing. Finally, the glitch from Angel Island comes back. I'm not crazy! Tails' AI had to have gotten tweaked ever so slightly in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, because I do not remember this happening in Sonic 3. Now is a good time as any to mention Hidden Palace's secret stash. Right before the final teleporter, have Tails lift Sonic up through this odd gap. An odd gap that leads to every monitor in the game. Going right also hides a 1-up. So get the flame shield. Damn, little bro, got your ass beat and your girlfriend stolen. Couldn't be me. Oh goodness, sorry man. Instead of chasing him, push against the first step and flame dash into the cutscene. Doing so won't take away Tails' control like normal. Sonic's waiting for Tails to join him, so just move Tails off screen and he'll never join you. True soft lock, baby! Doing the same thing, but letting AI Tails go forward, will stop him temporarily, then give back his control. Traitor Tails back at it again, I see. Looks like you won't be going anywhere, Sonic. Ha 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 ha! Nah, just kidding. Go ahead. Huh. Guess that's it for Hidden Palace. Definitely not missing anything major. Nope, not at all. These next few glitches, actually factually, require a completed save file with all the normal emeralds unlocked, but leave at least one super emerald uncompleted. My save has no super emeralds done, which is easier. For this variation, you should probably reset before entering Hidden Palace. I haven't really mentioned it up until now, but to make things easier, I have a hypersonic code that I've toggled on and off when needed. But using normal supersonic works just fine here too, okay? Cool. This time, go super or cheated hyper and get the electric shield. Then make your way to Knuckles, but stop before the boss music starts. Here's the hard part. Look up and fly into Knuckles. Make sure you don't dip too far down or the glitch has failed.
Loser!
Hopefully, Tails should be tired when Knuckles falls. Double jump up and immediately re-grab so the screen stays up. Whew! Now the cutscene is starting without us. Wait till after Eggman grabs the emerald, and he'll grab the wrong one. Even though Eggman has an emerald, it is still very much active. Not sure why I got taken to the unused special stage here. It might have something to do with the hypersonic code. I don't really know. Regardless of the special stage, exiting it takes us to Angel Island? Sonic, what happened to you, man? You're on fire today. Zipping off screen is downright amazing. If you die in the bombing cutscene, the game punishes you with instant death. Over and over again. Despite what you may be thinking, a hidden character doesn't seem to be possible here without debug, since the camera will never lower. Now let's say you have another save, maybe one that's for Knuckles. Well, enter a special stage of your choice on that save, like one that's Knuckles only. Exit the stage and do a soft reset. Then go back to Hidden Palace, and do the same thing all over again. I guess I just wanted to prove that you can do this glitch without super? Yeah, we'll go with that. Beat Knuckles and go into a special stage again. Only now, you'll time travel back to the last special stage ring you visited, even if it's a Knuckles one. Make sure not to move on to the next zone, however, or you'll lose your save file progress. Okay, the next variations don't involve save file stuff, so yay! Depending on when you enter the cutscene, changes what Eggman grabs. No matter what though, if it isn't an incomplete Super Emerald, it's a true soft lock. Well, might as well defeat Eggman while we're here. Woohoo! The world is saved! Sometimes Eggman will grab absolutely nothing. Wow, that's pretty embarrassing. Eggman will grab any new sprite that spawns, like an electric sparkle or skid dust. If you wait out the cutscene, there will be nothing. Don't even speak. This frame. The one frame where any character is considered grounded. Pressing jump on this frame specifically would be really flashy and really cool. Will he nail it? Yes, he does. And he regrabs Tails. Such great form. Such grace. Oh no, Tails is tired. Will Sonic touch the dreaded ground? The regrab. If Tails keeps this up, Sonic will never have to face Eggman. And again, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. A true masterclass of acrobatics. And he sticks the landing. That's it, baby! A Sonic soft block! So, what are you doing after this? Tails' respawn gets messed up with several different stage objects, like the moving bars next to Knuckles. Tails, quit monkeying around. Doing the same thing on the big rotator is even better. Even the swinging spike cup. Where do you think you're going, dumbass? With 50 rings, transform whenever an Egg Robo flies in to corrupt Hyper Sparkles. Or even Super Tails' Flickies. Sonic and Knuckles hasn't been kind to him. Another odd glitch, but when fighting the Metropolis throwback, if Tails hits him, no damage sound will play. The other Mechasonic fights don't have this issue, just the second one. Oh boy, another glitch catalyst. Instead of moving forward, just skip half the level. Grab an electric shield first, then lower the screen on this pillar and jump off the edge. Double jump over the pit, and that's it. Half a Sky Sanctuary gone. Now, the level ends with a checkpoint and a teleporter that takes you to the last Mechasonic fight. Well, we don't need teleporters, because we have Tails. Flying up to the third fight instead is barely possible with Hypersonic. By just touching this platform, we've stored the boss fight trigger. I'd recommend using your Sega Genesis save state feature and fly up to the left. This platform is for the second Mechasonic fight, meaning now we have a dual boss fight. Oh lord, what are those things? Beat the Metropolis one first, and then do the final Mechasonic. Quickly teleport away, and head to the big rotator. That's not how the cutscene looks. Since we beat Mechasonic somewhere else, the cutscene gets extremely displaced, but only visually. After a while of random stage elements going by, Death Egg will fade in like normal. It's worth mentioning, but jumping into the final fight from above will make the fight happen mid-air. Anyways, jump off the edge with the boss trigger stored, and go to the very bottom to fight Mechasonic way out of place. He's kind of an asshole here. If he jumps into the void, that's it, you have to restart. You gotta manipulate him into moving towards the right so you can beat him. Regardless of where you are, the cutscene will play out. Not as intended, but it'll play out. Leading to a create your own graphical vomit situation. Once you beat Mechasonic, immediately fly up with Tails. Once you land, the tally will come up. Haul ass to the teleporter and activate it just before the tally ends. Run away, but we're running in circles. Landing on the very left edge of said teleporter is a true soft lock. Didn't see that one coming, did you? No matter what, Sonic will never jump into the... This way reeks of Sonic soft block. Go down after the electric shield, and AI Tails can fly us up into Tails' path, which also has an electric shield. From here, look up and fly through the conveyor for Sonic soft blocks. Another crazier one happens in the engine room without the anti-gravity. Once completing the room, Tails can stand at the entrance to let us back in with normal gravity. Good thing Tails can fly. Flying up into the engine restores the anti-gravity somewhat. Auto lasers, light speed tunnels, piss rings, whatever you want to call them, are pretty tame in the glitch department. Tails yet again has the most broken interactions. Tails gets locked into it until Sonic activates it. So if we just leave, Tails, where do you think you're going? Moving far enough away to despawn Tails, but not the wheels, will keep the wheels up. The game still thinks Tails is in there spin dashing. Tails gets forced into the laser with us, regardless of where he is. A big lightspeed tunnel is up ahead, but jump over it. We're not interested in it anymore. When Tails rejoins us, look up and fly into the very edge of the staircase. Hold left, and we're off to the races! Whenever the walls disappear, hold right for Death Egg's loopback. Hi, how are ya? Like the other loopbacks, things like the electric floors are completely harmless. Gravity tunnels are just Joe Blow tunnels. And none of the conveyors are present. Act 1 is almost over already? That can't be right. Oh man, one of the worst Sonic 3 and Knuckles bosses. Let's send off Act 1 by failing the Act 2 transition. Beat Red Eye and fly up to the right. Quickly spin dash to the left since we have control now. Make sure you have an abnormal amount of rings so Tails can respawn. Right when the tally ends, grab onto Tails while having Tails move left. Well, that certainly isn't correct. Zip slightly over the tube, and Tails can drop us through. How in the world am I not dead? Oh no, you are most definitely dead. Jumping or releasing a spin dash instantly kills you. Wow, Tails. Thank you for demonstrating. Tails still makes his own gravity as per usual. He can also, fly inside the 4-way gravity tunnel. However, all 3 characters can use their mid-air abilities in the 4-way. Act 2 has another one of those staircase things. Bring at least 50 rings and scream at it. Sonic should get pushed in the wall. Zip out and hold right to get caught in another wall. Man, who knew outer space would have sewers? Skipping towards the end, see these wall spikes? There's a lot of them. Reminds me of some other spikes. Tails, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Look up on top of them and fly down. Red Eye was never the same after getting dunked on. Look man, I just really missed Act 1, okay? Give me a break. Using Tails, we can fly over the teleporter to keep the reversed gravity, and come back at the spikes from above. Duck and fly into them this time, and we'll be in the loopback. Upside down. Tails is needed to explore since, again, no conveyors. Unfortunately, a teleporter blocks our way. Must be out of order. One last loopback glitch. Going back into Act 2, there is this big wobbly staircase above some electric flooring. How does Eggman even navigate this stuff? If we're upside down, we can't really interact with it, but ducking down lets Tails fly right on through and break it. Now we can fly way up to respawn it, giving Sonic his turn. Sonic, look out! Before voiding out, press right to get inside of the wall. Jump down a few times until Sonic's roughly in line with this line. Move left, but don't fling out of the wall just yet. Spin dash to inch forward and... Nope. Yeah, I guess that works. Level wrapping is real finicky here, but having enough speed will send you to the very end of the loop back. Wow, it's just like Act 2, just without the fun gimmicks. Saving the planet can wait, we have things to explore. Be careful not to fall into outer space. Have you noticed how 95% of the Death Eggs glitches were because of Tails? The ones exclusive to Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I mean. And there's another one! Did you see it? Sometimes, Tails gets garbled up when going to the final boss. Oh no! You aren't going anywhere, Egghead! Hey, you're dead! Get out of here! We won! It's over! Nope. The game never expects you to be Eggman that quickly. Only with Tails is it possible to get 8 hits before the chase happens. Meaning we have to fight Eggman all over again. Wow. I sure hope somebody... Oh boy. Debug mode. Let's get some things squared away first. Sonic 3 alone had debug mode, which was automatically enabled by doing its horrendous level select code. Sonic and Knuckles alone had a massively simpler level select code, but no legitimate way to access debug. Don't get me wrong, it has debug mode, just no way to access it outside of cheats, or having Sonic 3 locked on, making Sonic 3 and Knuckles the game you're watching a video on. Since Sonic 3 alone has legit debug, I'm gonna skip over most of the stuff I covered last time. Sonic and Knuckles, however, requires S3 and K to gain access to, basically making half of the debug glitches Sonic 3 and Knuckles exclusive. So I'll briefly skim over Sonic and Knuckles stuff that I've already covered. Alright, tutorial time. S3 and K pulls the codes from Sonic and Knuckles. So for level select, grab onto a vine in Angel Island and press left, 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 right, 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 up, up, up. Pausing and pressing A will take you back to the title screen, which has a new option now. Debug is literally the same thing, but on Mushroom Hills pulleys instead. Now, when holding A and start when entering a level, enables debug mode. Congratulations! You're ready to absolutely destroy this game. I am not exaggerating. Like I said earlier, debug in base Sonic & Knuckles requires the complete package. And that doesn't make sense. How is that even possible? Well, debug mode gives us access to the S monitor, a monitor that instantly grants access to Hypersonic. Each time we break one, Sonic transforms and gains 50 rings, even if he's already hyper. But that's not the glitch. Spam the ever-loving crap out of these monitors, all sorted nearby each other. Now spin dash through all of them. If the game doesn't reset, or in the case of Mushroom Hill, outright crash, pause and press A, and you'll be greeted with pure Sonic and Knuckles. With one key difference. Whatever value in RAM that keeps debug mode on is left unaffected, granting debug in base Sonic and Knuckles. Yay! So sometimes doing this leads to a straight up crash. Mushroom Hill is probably the easiest. Carnival Night didn't fully crash, but it did this. A soft crash, if you will. Another quirk to debug mode is negating death. Anytime Sonic dies, activating debug will save him, with the exception of really low pits or camera tomfoolery. Pretty normal stuff. However, dying and debugging puts the game into a weird state, where enemies and objects don't move or react anymore, and the game still thinks you're dead, until you put Sonic back into the level. I mentioned a debug crash back in Angel Island that was caused by this exact situation. Dying in Act 2, debugging, and reappearing in Knuckles' final area just crashes. Before continuing, I'd like to fire through some Sonic 3 bug fixes. 1. Level state storage is fixed, so now loading into a zone, soft resetting, then doing a special stage, loads Angel Island as intended. 2. Checkpoint storage is also fixed. In Sonic 3, hitting a checkpoint would store its position in memory. Thus, choosing another level would spawn you at that coordinate. Both of these glitches probably got fixed due to the game sending us to the title screen instead of level select when doing Start plus A. But that's just a theory. A game theory! Also, playing Flying Battery Act 1 in the sound test doesn't get out of sync anymore. And staying on the data select screen for 47 minutes won't mess up the instruments anymore. The Doyless stage was also fixed, although you can't even select the Gumball stage in the level select anymore. So, with normal level select, the game restricts access to certain levels with the wrong character, like trying to load Doomsday Zone as Tails or Knuckles. With Debug Mode active, the game all of a sudden has no issues with it. Go to whatever stage with whatever character you please. Doomsday is the most interesting. Both Tails and Knuckles turn into garbled messes, but otherwise work completely fine. Tails' ending plays out just fine. Knuckles' does at first. Who are these original characters? Bluer Sonic and Light Blue Knuckles? Oh, sorry. I thought that was somebody else. The tornado actually looks pretty cool with blue on black. It really was him. Sonic, you gotta get out of there, dude. Crash the plane, something. Oh no, it's the Great Merge! Knuckles playing Sonic Sky Sanctuary has 2 Knuckles. Notice how the NPC Knuckles looks lighter and has different socks. Sonic and Tails can fight Mecha Sonic. I'm not gonna question it. And get Knuckles' ending. No! He got Tails! Placing monitors during the cutscene reveals Red Sonic. And I can confirm, this is not the YouTuber Red Hot Sonic. He has red shoes. And he doesn't turn blue. Debugging during Sonic's regular ending gets a little messy too. I don't think there are clouds in space. Okay. This is actually a vibe. I like it. Oh man. Debugging too early blacks out the credits. Lame. The cutscene also takes precedent in terms of movement. I spammed S monitors during the credits for fun, and it just never ended. Never talk to me or my son ever again. Whoa! Who is this original character? Black with shades of green? So, I didn't know you could debug during the ending screen. The game acts like we're still in the level, just with a Robotnik-y background. Which, you guessed it, messes with the color palettes. So, Sonic community, what should we name this original character? That's your engagement bait for this video. Give the newly birthed OC a name. Unless he already has one, then feel free to yell at me. All the zones in Sonic 3 and Knuckles have some form of loop back. However, some zones require debug. Angel Island 1, die and activate debug. I'm gonna call this maneuver the death trick. Fly under the boss as much as you can, and Act 1 becomes a toilet's best friend. You can't explore much because Flame Breath is an asshole. Well, that was something. With the death trick for good measure, Knuckles can see Act 2's loopback in Act 1, since he doesn't get the bombing cutscene. I wonder where the loopback starts. It looks like some old Minecraft terrain generation. What's odd is there are still chunks of bombing cutscenes scattered around. Undebugging pulled me into Knuckles' Act 2 boss fight. No ifs, ands, or buts. Well, this certainly isn't right either. Marble Garden 2 is fairly simple. Although Eggman's an asshole too, he stopped me right away. Launch Base 2 doesn't have much going on, due to most of the loopback being taken up by the insides and outsides of buildings. Which is fine, because trying to run around causes a soft reset. I guess the game is not having it today. It might have to do with the death trick, because Sandopolis Act 2 fully crashed on me in the lava reef tunnel. Going too high forces you into the sand golem fight. Ooh, looking snazzy with the gold trim. I'll come back to you later. Don't you worry. The loopback itself is very short. Knuckles' Sky Sanctuary is literally just nothing. Don't worry about it. We'll come back here too. Doomsday's loopback is rocks and space. Although don't wrap the screen or else game reset. Debug enables a lot of smaller unintended interactions, as you'd expect. So let's fire through a few. Doing the death trick in Angel Island and immediately dying will respawn you as Ring Sonic. Mods, add another OC to the list. Or whatever item you had selected the last time for that matter. See? Here's Boulder Sonic. Spring Sonic. Turning hyper as Ring Sonic makes Blue Spiky Sonic. But only the after images specifically. Activating the boss fight in Knuckles' Launch Base Act 2 and debugging down makes the Death Egg very unhappy. This is in Sonic 3, but going back up, and now you're fighting in mid-air. Debugging parallel to the Ghost Capsule did that. Coming at it from above, then going away, corrupts all the Badnik sprites. Weird, because skipping it with vertical wrapping doesn't cause this. Spawning the ghosts and debugging into the Sand Golem fight makes them very angry to say the least. Hidden Palace, switch gravity while teleporting for an extra stinky teleport. Also, debug makes manipulating the emerald stealing cutscene way easier. I didn't know Knuckles was a freak like that. Debugging inside a Lightspeed tunnel soft crashes the game. Debugging out of the slot machine bonus stage is pretty wacky. The level looks like it just gave up. Debugging in certain level objects causes a funny graphical glitch. This happens in a lot of spots, like the Angel Island vines, Angel Island tree, rotating cylinders in Hydrocity, Carnival Night barrels, launch base elevators, teacups, and grapple hooks. Mushroom Hill Act 2's intro, Flying Batteries cheese graters, Sky Sanctuary's rotators, Death Egg Act 2's teleporters, and even when grabbed by Eggman. Let's get Sky Sanctuary done and sealed away. Debugging before we even get into the zone freaks out the background. Also stops everything. No boss fight for you. But what if we could fight multiple bosses? Well, debug during the intro like normal, but get your coordinates past 1A. Spawn a few teleporters which instantly get blown up, and head back. Now you have not one, but 3 Mechasonics. Mechasonics have a tendency to portal themselves, so beating them takes a while. Depending on when and how many you beat, yields different results. I left one in his super phase, and he kept reappearing during the credits. Oh, now he's red. Hey, get out of here! The game's over, dude! I beat 2 of them, one after the other, and got this. And also infinite clouds. Beating one and pushing the other into phase 2 gave me another new OC! Hallelujah! What should we name this funny fellow? And finally, beating one boss, then beating the other while the screen turns white. Crashing the game from Angel Island is a pretty famous debug glitch. Apparently it lets you play as a glitched character. Similar to what we did in Hidden Palace, you need a save file with all the normal emeralds gotten, but have at least one uncleared super emerald. With debug in hand, skip over Knuckles and go into an uncleared special stage. That being a special stage that hasn't been cleared. Reason that special stage was uncleared? I didn't play it. Now the game respawns us in flooded Angel Island. Zipping off screen leads to absolute graphical vomit, and a soft reset. But now that we have debug mode, we can follow the water line down. Going down too fast will crash the game outright. Lame. The game lags really hard, but going down into the level gives a nice variety of game crashes. What the hell? What the hell?
Run the bullshit! Go!
Avoiding all that noise and following the water down, you can move around as Flame Sonic. I feel like some other sort of glitch is possible here. I guess we'll have to move on.
You can't dodge me for much longer. I will have Sonic in my possession too. I will roam free again!
Debugging into Knuckles' boss area of Angel Island Act 2 forces Sonic into the bombing cutscene, giving a build-your-own corruption cutscene. But this also has the side effect of fighting multiple Robotniks. Very cool. Opening multiple capsules seems to break Knuckles' switch. Does he know? However, by simply sliding into the Knuckles area, the water palette might not disappear. Yeah, now you're turquoise. Original the character! I wrote down that hyper flashing into Knuckles' boss arena crashes the game. I don't know what I was on. Next one is fairly precise, as Knuckles go into Launch Base Act 2 and break his water current. I don't know if it's required, but it's a good reference. Go to the right and the background will throw up. Rise up through Sonic's arena and move slightly left. Place a badnik around here and die. Debug at the peak of your death. Cool song name. And keep doing that higher and higher until the music stops. Cool. Now move really far to the left. Rejoin the game, and now we're fighting 2 egg robos. For reference, the Robotnik legs are the super monitor. Wow, both you and Twin Hammer are persistent little buggers, eh? The big arm super fix really comes in handy when there's 2 of them. Oh no, not again! Remember the egg golem? Let's explore him further. Calm down, Chezo. Here's another boss where doing the death trick repeatedly turns Sonic into corrupted Tails. As mentioned before, reaching the end makes him do a secret attack. Getting behind him, but staying at the entrance, reveals his uglier, corrupted copies. No wonder he has a giant barrier. Debugging back into the level gives us another look at him. Oh, hello there. Even the caterpillars are confused. Oh man, that's a lot of egg golem. Debugging into the boss from the lower side spawns Eggman without a shell. But he's also affected by lighting changes. See, now he's dark. Turning on the lights, now he's gold. Hey! Then it goes to brown. Hitting him while he's dark turns him dark orange. Earlier I mentioned that looping the screen above or after the boss forces the camera into the boss fight. At first I thought it was frozen, but hitting a sand plug miraculously reactivates him. Entering from the wrong area also has the side effect of not locking the capsule area. The capsule isn't here, but the background sure the hell is. I don't know how, but the boss and the rising sand event are linked, so beating the boss activates the sand rising. Anyways, Debug also lets us follow Eggman all the way to the end. Eggman, you dirty dog. Wait, what? The game recovered? Yeah, the game doesn't like you being in the loopback after beating Eggman. Sometimes it recovers, but other times it tries to make music. I feel like it's worth mentioning, even if you can't do it legitimately, but changing the light values to be higher than normal leads to a lot of very interesting color combinations. This one's pretty cool. That's just ugly. But all the values are even numbers. Changing it to an odd number soft crashes the game. I know with Debug I'm bouncing around a lot, but I did forget to mention a palette glitch in Carnival Night Act 2. With Debug, we can skip 2 of the Knuckles' cutscenes, meaning the water level never changes. So if we debug into the final one,
it is time. Time for me to have some fun.
So, also in Carnival Night Act 2, debug along the top of the screen until you reach the end. Go back down to the 2 red squares and debug off to the right. As you can see, our position is steadily increasing, despite there being no level left. Once it goes past FF, we'll loop back around. The game doesn't exactly like it when we do this, so peek at the boss room and go back up. When the blue chunks appear, go back into the boss arena. Then go back to the title screen. What just happened is the character number got set to a crazy value. So loading into the glitchy no save character spawns Bluckles. Bluckles is a freakish abomination of all 3 characters. He's Knuckles, wearing Sonic's skin, running through Sonic's story. Unfortunately, it's still Sonic's path, so debug and level select are needed. When beating an act, it claims that Tails got through it. Also, Red Sonic is in the signpost.
Playing this game isn't as interesting as they made it seem. Perhaps it is time to ruin what is left of it.
Looping back through the zone by overflowing our exposition can cause probably the wackiest glitches. Starting off strong, go into Sandopolis and immediately do the death trick. Fly up and to the right. When the level loops, you'll see the screen shift a bit. Depending on where you debug back into, will lead to soft resets, true game crashes, a black screen, or the worst of all, at roughly these coordinates. Yeah, sorry. You'll get this. Congratulations! Aw man, is this some sort of anti-piracy measure? Nope, it's blue spheres. Blue spheres is what happens when an incompatible game is locked on to Sonic and Knuckles. Definitely not supposed to happen. Pressing start then A returns everything back to normal. Several zones like Hydrocity, Mushroom Hill, Sandopolis, still, and the Electric Ball bonus stage react very strangely to looping the level. The bonus stage is probably the easiest. Literally just debug off screen until you loop. When the screen shifts, move back left into the stage for absolute chaos. Angel Island cutscenes, big arms, and so on spawn out of nowhere. Big Arms is an asshole, but even if he grabs you, he'll come back down eventually. And the intro constantly drags you around, but I swear, it is possible to beat at least one boss, although it doesn't really amount to anything. I have no explanation as to why any of this is happening. Maybe it's because the RAM values are getting corrupted? It's amazing the game is still holding on for as long as it is, although true crashes are entirely possible. Mushroom Hill has something similar, by letting Knuckles spawn, then death tricking into the act. I do know passing certain coordinates is what spawns the random cutscenes. Like you have to go up, see the swing, go down, and loop around the top of this vine and back. But not too high, or else. I literally had to find the right angle of approach. And then, oh, the start of the game again? Personally, I think pink makes you look pretty. Pretty stupid! You get the idea. So, let's send off Sonic 3 and Knuckles with the most vile, disgusting, and very interesting glitches yet. Back to Sandopolis. Debug all the way to the edge again, but line up the sandfall about here. Looping the screen now, and the Hydrocity boss is just chillin'. Going further down turns everything into the absolute definition of graphical puke. What the fuck am I even looking at here? Oh, but it gets worse. Heads up. Flashing lights warning. Debugging next to this sandfall makes the sand have a seizure. Bitrate be damned, this is insane to look at. If you can navigate around, go on the left side of the Hydrocity boss and move up. If the screen flashes white, you're on the right track. Once all the way up, go back to the title screen and enter Time Attack. You'll notice the level selection is offset. Loading into a level usually results in graphical trash and a game crash. But selecting Endless Mines does load something. For once, not even torching the island can fix it. The only thing that can is sweet relief. Next time on the Glitch Compilation. Actually, no, I'm not promising anything. I'm not done with glitch stuff by any means. I just don't want to get locked into doing a certain video, which is part of the reason this one took so long. On top of, you know, having a full-time job and responsibilities. Now that the original glitch saga is over, I can finally move on to literally anything else. I've got more ideas in the bank, don't you worry, but they'll come out when they come out. Thanks for watching, Sonic Freaks. The video is finally over.